Here we are in between two doors, coming at you, talking about e-commerce. Now, I don't have cool hand gestures like Jared does, so you're just gonna have to excuse me. Definitely don't fall into the mentality of if you build it, they will come.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Galaxy Design channel. I'm Jared Poirier, and I am here today with my frequent collaborator and lovely fiance, Masha Valkava.
Hello, all you cool quarantiners and isolatees.
All right, so you might recognize Masha from previous videos on this channel, and today I wanted to bring Masha back on the channel because I was thinking about doing a video for some of you retail store owners out there, particularly people who own retail stores related to fashion, since that is the type of e-commerce store that Masha and I actually run with Pet Pocket.
Yes, here we are in between two doors, coming at you, talking about e-commerce for the clothing industry.
I think that Sonia wants to go explore.
All right, Sonia's going to explore.
Bye, Sonia. So in all seriousness, we know that a lot of businesses, particularly Main Street businesses, brick and mortar businesses, are suffering right now because of a loss of business due to this whole COVID-19 situation. And Masha and I want to bring our skills and knowledge as people who run an e-commerce business and an online business already, and really help you guys to set up a store in the best possible way and really do it quickly, because I think a lot of people right now are looking to get on their feet as fast as possible with their business. So the first category that we want to cover here is your target demographic. So if you already have a brick and mortar retail store, then you probably already have a target demographic and you probably already know that it's important. But online, it is even more important to niche down.
That's right. Now, I don't have cool hand gestures like Jared does, so you're just gonna have to excuse me. But yes, target audience. I'm sure you guys have heard Jared talk about this on his channel before. You have probably heard a lot of other people talk about it, but it is really important. And I think a lot of people fall into the trap of saying, well, my store serves the general public, and that's fine and dandy, but how do you market to the general public? Because everybody really wants something different. And I think a good place to start is thinking about, does my product appeal mostly to men or women? What age group does it mostly appeal to? So would a woman in her 50s want to purchase my product, or would it be more appropriate for a woman in her early 20s? So for example, for us, for Pet Pocket, our target audience are couples between the ages of early 20s to early 40s who do not have children, or maybe they're just starting to think about having a family, but they definitely have dogs or a cat, a pet that they're super passionate about, and that they want to, share the love of that pet with the world. But they're also passionate about animal welfare and ensuring that what they're doing and how they're spending their money is responsible and is helping animals in need.
Yeah, so just to drive that home, everything that you guys do online, from your website to landing pages to blog posts to videos, everything needs to be geared towards a specific demographic, or else people just aren't going to be able to find your store. So make sure that when you're creating an online store that you choose a niche.
So the next thing we're going to touch on is setting up a domain. Now, if you already have a physical location and a store name, then you may want to stick with that. But I think you'll find out that it's not always possible to just get a domain with the same name as your current store, and Jared's going to tell you why.
Yeah, so when I actually was looking for a domain name, the first choice for my business was galaxydesign.com, and when I wasn't able to get that domain, I went with galaxydesigngraphics.com, which is also fine. You can just add a word to the end of your business, and you can use that for your domain name. The other thing that you can do though is, if you aren't able to get that .com, then you might just want to look into getting like a .org, a .net, or a .ca.
For sure, that's really great advice. Now, an amazing place to start looking at whether or not the domain you want is available is GoDaddy. it sounds sketchy, but it's actually a legitimate website. It works really well. But it will, for free, tell you whether the domain you want is available. If it is, how much it's going to cost you, because that might also be prohibitive. And if it's not available, it'll tell you suggestions for similar names that you can come up with. Now, I know everybody wants the .com because that's what all the cool kids have, but I would really also look at .cas or .orgs. Maybe not so much .orgs because those are typically associated with like nonprofits, but .ca is totally fine, because particularly if you're a Canadian-based business, you may think, okay, if somebody from the States is looking at my website, they may not want to buy because they're automatically going to assume I'm not in the States. But you also have to think about, well, would you be prepared to take on the cost of shipping your product to America or elsewhere in the world? So shipping is already very expensive, even within Canada, even more so elsewhere. So at this point, if you're just starting out, maybe it's not such a bad thing for you to just focus locally.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of websites that you can choose from to register your domain. GoDaddy is obviously a good one that a lot of people know. There's Bluehost, you can register it right on Squarespace, or you can use Shopify.
That's right, which brings us to our next point, which is actually setting up your online store.
Yeah, so next we're gonna get into setting up your online store. There's obviously a lot that goes into this, so we're just gonna touch on some of the basics. The first thing that you're going to want to do is pick the platform that you want to use. And if you're going to be doing e-commerce, particularly with a clothing brand, I would actually say that the best thing to use is Shopify, but you have a lot of other options like Squarespace and Wix and all types of stuff.
Definitely. I think if you have a more service-based business, such as Jared has, something like Squarespace, Weebly, Wix will do the trick. You can also use WordPress, but that's a little bit more
involved.
A little bit more advanced. And we really think that Shopify is just the way to go in terms of ease of use and what you can get for the price. So yeah, Shopify.
Yeah, and if you do choose that you want to use Shopify, you have a whole bunch of different tiers to choose from depending on the features that you need and how much money you want to spend every month. The other thing that you're probably going to need when you're starting your store is a logo, some branding, a brand identity, all that type of stuff. If you are coming from the position where you already had a brick and mortar store, then you actually have the leg up. You probably have a lot of that stuff in place already, so you're just going to need a graphic designer to kind of repurpose the branding that you have into a banner and some other assets for your website.
For sure. I think you're definitely kind of ahead of the game if you already have that established. You just want to make sure that it's all optimized, obviously, now for your new e-commerce presence.
You see Masha's getting in on the handsy game here.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know, I have to keep up. But the other thing you want to also start thinking about and kind of sketching out is how are you going to organize your store? Because if you think about how your store is in a physical space, you probably organize it in a way that makes it super easy for your customers to browse. So perhaps it's organized by seasons, it's probably organized by size. Maybe you have pants separated from your tops and your jewelry is in one place and your bags are displayed elsewhere. So you want to take a similar approach with your e-commerce store so that your customer doesn't get overwhelmed by the amount of things that you have and just kind of goes away because they're frustrated. So you definitely want to make it as easy for them as possible to find the thing that they're looking for so that they can purchase it. All right, once you've figured out your branding and how you're gonna organize your store, you're gonna need to look at product photography. So we're gonna jump into that and chat a little bit about product photography because arguably that's one of the most important things, and that's what's going to make you stand out from the competition, is having amazing product photos. Now you're going to have to figure out what makes the most sense visually for your brand. As an example, for a clothing store, people typically want to understand what the item is going to look like on their body. They want to have an idea. So for example, for us, we sell mostly t-shirts and hoodies and things like that. So our actual product photos are just photos of the t-shirt itself without a body in it. However, we made sure that throughout our store, there are enough images of people wearing a product that people can have a good understanding of what that item is going to look like on their own body. Now, This is another reason why it's important to know your target audience as well. Is, for example, if our store used models like Zara uses, where it's like 6 foot something, super thin models, where you don't actually know what that item's going to look like on you because you don't look like that model, well, that's not going to be super helpful. So you can't just put a body in it and think that's it. So if your product appeals to like a normal person, then you may consider taking product photos with actual everyday people wearing them, and that'll help give people a better idea of what that actually is going to look like.
Nice.
Now, obviously, if you are selling jewelry or bags, you may not need to have a person wearing it, but you may want to consider setting them up in a nice background and really focusing in on the product itself. And don't overlook details. So whether it's a photograph of the detailed stitching on the shirt pocket, or the clasps or closures on the jewelry item, or maybe you're gonna give people a really close-up look as to how the straps are attached to the bag, that's also really important and gives people a better understanding of what the product is actually like before they buy it.
Nice. And the other thing that I just wanted to get into here, coming from a background in photography, obviously normally I just recommend that you hire a professional photographer to take your product photos. Right now, because of COVID, that might not be an option for you, so I just wanted to give you guys some tips that you can use to improve your product photos if you're just gonna have to do them yourself. The first thing that I wanted to say is that you probably shouldn't shoot them on your phone. You're gonna have a tough time getting really good quality photos for your website just with your phone alone. You're probably gonna wanna use a professional camera like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, something that you'll be able to switch out lenses on, and you'll probably want to use a lens with a low f-stop. This is getting a little bit jargony here, but the other thing that I want to point out is that you want to avoid using a wide angle lens, as that's going to really distort your product and make it look different from how it appears in real life. You're probably going to want to use something that just reflects like the normal human eye, so something like a 50mm or a prime lens would be my recommendation.
Hope you got all of that.
Okay, so we have reached the last category in the video here. You guys are almost ready to put up your online store. The next thing that we need to talk about, once you have your store set up, once you've picked the name, once you've taken your product photos and all of that, you're gonna wanna start marketing your store. And here we wanna focus on social media marketing, since that's kind of the way that we've chosen to market our products, and we've actually seen a lot of success there. So now Masha's gonna go a little bit into some of your options in terms of platforms for social media marketing.
Definitely don't fall into the mentality of if you build it, they will come. It's not so much true for physical locations. Sometimes it works, mostly it doesn't. It's definitely not true for an online store because literally no one knows you exist. So if you put up your store and you're getting zero traffic, don't get discouraged. You just have to figure out how to market your store. So definitely social media is a really great place to start. For us, Facebook ads really drive a lot of traffic, but even with that, you're gonna have to experiment. And I know you might think like, oh, Facebook, is that really even like a thing anymore? It is. Facebook is actually huge. It drives so much traffic to our store. So definitely do not overlook Facebook, and it actually has a lot of really unique features that set it apart from other social media platforms.
Yeah, a couple of those things that are unique about Facebook. On Facebook, you can set up a business page. You can invite all of your friends to like your business page, which means that it's going to get shown to more people. Your ads are going to get shown to more people. Your audience is going to get bigger, and all of that is going to convert into sales. Another thing that's really great about Facebook is the fact that you can use Facebook groups. So you can create a group that's just around your business, like fans of Pet Pocket or something. We might do something like that in the future. Right now we just have a Facebook business page, but a group is another thing that we could really take advantage of. And even if you don't have your own Facebook group for your business, you can go into other Facebook groups that are related to your business. So we would go into groups that are related to fans of dogs and animal rescue, and we can post about our business there. So just another thing that Facebook is offering you. I did want to touch quickly on Instagram and all of the different things that you can do on Instagram. So I think Masha's gonna get into that a bit.
So Instagram is definitely really a great marketing tool as well, particularly if you have an Instagram friendly brand. I'm sure you've heard about that. If you think about like a lot of athletic wear brands and things like that are solely based on Instagram.
Definitely relevant for the clothing brand stuff.
So the cool thing that you can do through Instagram is really engage with your audience on a really neat level. So you can do stories where you kind of just talk with them. Something that we like to do a lot is Instagram Live. Yep. So that's when you actually sit down in front of your phone and you go live and you can interact with people in real time. So they send you comments and you can respond to them. So you can do giveaways, Q&As, whatever. IGTV is a really great one. So you can put up videos and then people can get to know your brand a little bit better. And then just, your posts are the visual identity of your brand can be reflected so well on Instagram. So just really making sure that you are posting consistently and are interacting with people on there will help you increase your following and drive more people to your Shopify store.
Yeah, in terms of interacting with your customers, I actually think that Instagram is one of the best, and it's a platform that a lot of people use. Probably more people do use Facebook, but I think that of the people who do use Instagram, they're actually spending like a lot of time using that app. So it can be a really great way to engage with people. Switching gears a little bit to the social media platform, instead of being best for engagement, this one is best for SEO, and that's YouTube, guys. YouTube is so huge for SEO, and that's really important because that's going to allow people to find you online. And there are a lot of different features within YouTube where you're going to be able to optimize your videos so that people can find out about your brand. So within YouTube, you can use the tag feature to put a whole bunch of tags that are related to your business. So for Pet Pocket, that would be like animal rescue, dog lovers, pet lovers, all of that type of stuff. And then in the description, you can go ahead and put a bunch of your keywords in there as well. So that's really gonna help people find your store online.
Yeah, and just a quick note for those that are watching who are maybe completely brand new to this, SEO is search engine optimization.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned that.
And basically those are keywords in your site. So when you Google things and you type in like blue t-shirt, so if your website ranks really highly on Google with the keyword blue t-shirt, your Shopify store is going to be the first result that comes up, and obviously people are more likely to click on the first result. And one last thing about social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, do not pay for your followers.
Yeah, good point.
Don't buy followers, don't buy subscribers, don't buy likes, don't buy comments, because they will all catch on to that. And I mean by all, I mean Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and they will shadow ban you or ban you altogether.
Yeah.
And then you don't actually have any real engagement. So you definitely want to invest the time and the energy into building an organic following with real people who are actually going to engage with your content and then become your customers.
Yeah, those fake accounts aren't really going to be engaging with your content, and they're definitely not going to be going to your store and making a purchase. So don't bother with any of that paying for followers, paying for subscribers type of nonsense. But I think if you do have a little bit of a budget, it is okay to put that into things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads. It's not really social media, but Google ads can be very helpful as well.
All right, guys, so thanks so much for tuning in and watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. And one last thing that we're gonna say is something called a CTA, or a call to action.
Oh, nice.
And the call to action in your store.
Hopefully we can get through the CTA before the camera dies. It looks like the battery's getting pretty low.
All right, so a CTA for your call is gonna be Shop Now, and our CTA is if you need help setting up your Shopify store and moving your business online. Let us know, leave it in the comments below, send us an email, get in touch, whatever, we're here for you. We are also going through the same thing that you're going through, so we're more than happy to help.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different stuff that we can do to help you guys get your store up and running. Masha knows a whole lot of stuff about Shopify. Again, we've been running a store together for quite a while, so we'll be able to help you guys out with that. And I know quite a bit about online marketing, SEO, video production, photo editing, all of that. So if there are any hurdles that you guys are hitting in setting up your online store, please reach out. You can email me at jared@galaxydesigngraphics.com, and we would be more than happy to help. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you find it helpful. If you liked this, make sure that you give a like to this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna have a new video for you guys next week. Thank you for watching.